Yes, so we're in a city school with about 1,600 students. Majority of our students are British Pakistani and British Bangladeshi students. We've got a quite sizable uh, number of Roma Gypsy students in school. I think it's about between 60 to 100 students. I would say that we've got about 60 asylum seeking and refugee students. And in our school, the last time I've checked, we speak about 42 languages. We get lots of school children coming from Westminster Primary, so it's been lovely to hear what Nosheen and her school are doing to support their pupils. Um, how do we all start? So when we have new arrivals, we normally have a pre-admission meeting with loads of fact finding. The council used to provide an interpreter, but they don't do this anymore. But so we try to book an interpreter or family member if there is a family member that speaks English, or also we have few staff members that are bilingual and speak different languages, so we tend to use them. And so during the admission, I get to find out about the family circumstances and the students, and when they come in into the admission meeting, the students are quite shy, so I don't get to find out much when it comes to their level of English. So I have to test them when they actually start school. I've recently, well, last year, I've subscribed to EAL Star, which is a quite handy program that assesses all the main areas like speaking, reading, listening, and writing. So I use that to find the levels of students' English, and based on those levels, then I create a student profile which I share with staff, and any background information that they need to know how to support the student, and any strategies they need to adopt in their teaching. And if the student, in terms of the language proficiency, if they are on level C, we try to send them to mainstream lessons. Sometimes it can be quite overwhelming because the school in their country might have been much smaller than ours, so we try to send them there quite gradually. We start with a core subject first, maybe PE, then art, and then eventually we'll send them full time. If the students are assessed as very new to English, like at the level A or beginners level B, we keep them. We've got quite a bespoke new to English provision, because many of our students, when they come and they are new to English, some of them, they've never been to school before, even in their home country. So it's difficult to send them to mainstream lessons where they can't even read and write. It would be difficult for the students and also the teachers. So what we do is they have 2 hours of English every day. The first 1 hour is concentrates on vocabulary and grammar, and the second hour we do lots of reading and phonics, just to get them priorities to get them reading as soon as possible. They have maths every day, they have science every week, art. We do teach PSHE, religion, history, geography, ICT, and I also do life skills with them, and I forgot to mention food technology as well. But those lessons like maths, English, and the rest of them, they are at, although we are secondary school, they are very much at primary school level. So we start, say, key stage. I do teach them, for example, now I teach them year two maths, and that's what the students, because they've never had any, so I can't suddenly jump if they are in year nine, I can't suddenly jump and to year nine curriculum when there was nothing else before. But if the students are doing really well, we don't want to hold them in the new to English curriculum, and we always I do half termly assessments, and as soon as they are ready, we I'd love to move them out to mainstream lessons so they get taught with the peers, and the English language is modeled to them. So yes, and many of them, when they go to mainstream lessons, because we've got loads of sets, we've got about 7, 8 sets per subject. So I try to for them not to go to the bottom sets, because many of them are they're bright as well. It doesn't mean that they don't speak the language, that they're not clever. So they do, and they, with the right support and the strategies used, they thrive. We do in food technology, for example, we follow we use as done challenges, and so I always pick certain challenge. So sometimes it's difficult for them to get the system. The British system is about qualifications, testing, and qualifications, But if they can't read and write, we can't. They can't access any like GCSEs. So I try to do as done challenges with them in food technology. For example, now we are exploring the world cuisines. So they like to. They told me what they like, the dishes in their country. So we tend to. So we've got some Kuwaiti children. So we cooked a meal from their country, and they really like it. And then at the end of the lesson, that they eat together the food they've cooked. Next week we're going to cook Hungarian dish, because we've got some students who are Hungarian. So that's about. We use, apart from the EAL staff for testing, I use the Bell Foundation assessment tracker, because that's quite helpful in terms of assessing students where they are at, and setting targets, what they need to work on. We've subscribed to Learning Village, which is a very nice interactive program. It's very visual, very interactive for students. So they use this. Sometimes we use it in lesson, and I tend to set them homework on there. And the students, when they come, and if they don't have access to laptops or computers, I encourage them to stay in the school library. Or recently I've been requesting laptops from the Bradford Council. They've got a digital inclusion program. So I've been getting our refugee and asylum seeker students laptops through there. I've just ordered Racing to English. We've had this quite old program by Gordon. His name's Gordon Ward. So there is it's a good for survival skills, and it's very visual program. It includes the vocabulary and grammar. So I've subscribed to that, because we've had it in school, but I don't have the complete package. So I think that will be really good in terms of lesson planning. And then I also use My Maths Primary, which is also really good for setting homework, and just as an extra. Because what we do in our provision, new to English provision, I've got all the year groups in one group. So students from year to 7 to year 11, and they come with different levels. So sometimes if I have to help one student, then I can put one student onto a computer. So it's as my like a supporting program. I also use EAL Language Builder. It's got really lovely, simple worksheets for students that I can give them as homework. We use Lexia for encouraging students to read and for comprehension, but don't think the progress has been, as I found some research from the Education Endowment Foundation. I don't think it's been that good for the very beginner students. So we're going to replace it with Lexonic, which seems to be it's a program that we're going to subscribe to as a whole school, because it's got a really good, successful, and quite speedy progress rate. And so we help the new arrivals with a uniform voucher, or when they some of them they don't they don't qualify for any vouchers or anything, so we give them, I tend to recycle uniforms, which I then wash in school, and then we hand them out to students. We've got a buddy system like at Westminster Primary School. Students, we give them a visual timetable so they know, because we're a large school, we've got loads of different classrooms over 3 floors. So the visual timetable tends to help with that. We've got bilingual staff that helps to communicate with students. Some of them, as I said, they don't speak any English at all, so it can be hard, especially to start with. We encourage the students to do extracurricular activities. We provide them with after-school intervention just for extra support if they do need help with homework or reading, one-to-one reading. We do loads of trips. We go to Dales. We went to Nosy Safari Park. We went to Tropical World. When the students come in, I print. Twinkle is another good resource. I print them vocabulary maps so they've got something to refer to at home, and I browse the whole internet to find as many bilingual resources as possible so they've got something at home to refer to as well, instead of a knowledge organizer. Yes. And I can move on to the next one.
One more slide, Thomas. Yeah.
Yes, when the students come through the resettlement program, they come with extra funding. So through the funding, which is ring fence for them really, so we buy them the full uniform, not just the first time they start, but when they grow out of it, then we buy them further uniform. We give them the equipment. I always get them a laptop. If there are any trips, so all the cost gets covered through from that budget, even if it's residential, all the books, resources. I ensure that they have access to interpreters for parents' meetings, parents' evenings, and also meeting with parents. So this is just we do much more, but we run out of time.
You really do. Carlton Bolling have been a school of sanctuary for a very long time. You're reaccredited last year. Marketa, thank you so much for sharing what you do. It's really good to hear about it from a secondary school angle.